Hi, everybody. This is Chandler.
And this is Chris.
And this is Dylan.
And you're listening to
X
Reads
Reads
the
the
Podcast. Yay. Welcome to our special guest, Dylan, for episode 39. Dylan is a special guest from the incredible podcast House of X, which House of X is a brand.
It sure is. It's all over the internet.
Dylan is the king of an X-Men community that exists primarily on Facebook with over 12,000 members and growing. And across many other houses, House of Iceman, House of Storm, House of Emma Frost. He is the ringleader and the master of the House of X brand.
If there's a character you like, there's a house for you.
Yes. And then, of course, the co-host, I should say, of House of X podcast with Regina. I've had the great pleasure of being the guest on their podcast 3 times, I think. And we are always partnering up and currently in the 10 of Swords crossover event with Homo Superior.
Hey, they never had me on.
Cricket.
Say for yourself.
Well, I mean,
it's
Chris,
okay. No, it's fine. Moving on.
Chris, you can be on whenever you want, and I'm just speechless after the giant praise that you just gave me. I don't feel like I'm a king of anything, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, you're a region of a kingdom of X-Men fans under the House of X umbrella. So yeah, if those of you listeners are not familiar, please go check out House of X on Facebook, podcast platforms, Instagram, Twitter. You're everywhere.
Yeah, and the groups are very active, so you'll have a lot of fun perusing all the people's posts.
Yes, and just follow the rules.
Yes, there are rules. You must read them upon entry.
Read the rules upon entry of the House of X group, and then you'll be okay. Otherwise, you'll get the axe.
Even though I said I didn't want all the praise, I did just want to point out that my X-Men Facebook group called House of X actually had the name first before Jonathan Hickman decided that he was going to make a big giant X-Men event called House of X. So I just want to say that I had it first.
Dylan has selected our very first New Mutants issue. Which episode or which issue are we going to be doing today, Dylan?
I picked issue 16 of the New Mutants because if anyone listening does know me, my internet name is Warpath_Dylan, and that's because Warpath is my favorite X-Man, and New Mutants 16 is his first appearance.
Ooh, and it is a juicy issue. Mm-hmm. I am in love with a lot of stuff that happens, and it's very exciting. You guys are going to have a lot of fun this episode.
We also get first appearances of a lot of the Hellions. In fact, this is the first appearance of them as a team, so it is quite a fun issue. And of course, those of you that are currently reading comics, your current day Hellions are nothing like these kids. The original Hellions, of course, were the group of young mutants that were under Emma's Massachusetts Academy banner. And now they are a group of
cannon fodder.
Misfits. Cannon fodder.
They're just cannon fodder.
Well, awesome. And our last bit of news is congratulations to our winner, David Mansfield at the Uncanny D-Man, who won our competition to win a copy of Uncanny X-Men 151. He guessed the correct answer of what was the name of the student counselor that showed Kitty around at the Massachusetts Academy, and it was...
Oh, shit. I don't remember.
Oh, come on. This was your idea. You were like...
It was my idea, but that was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember.
Oh, no.
I have a goldfish brain, you guys.
Okay, you're on a podcast. It's called X Reads. We're talking about X-Men comic books, in case you forgot which one you're guesting on.
Right. I told Bunny. Was it Bunny?
No, it's Muffy.
Oh, Muffy. That's right, because I was like, it's kind of like Buffy, but more Muffy about it.
Anyway, so David, congratulations. We hope you enjoy your issue. We'll be doing more giveaways and more exciting stuff on our podcast in the future, so everybody stay tuned.
Congratulations, Mr. Mansfield.
And a little bit of trivia for the era of this comic book, which was published in June of 1984. The top song was Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper.
La, da, 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 da,
and you will find me
Time After Time, which, by the way, was like part of Rue Michelle's high school reunion.
Yes.
A big dance scene.
Yes.
It was so romantic.
Love that.
It was like this threesome on the dance floor. And every time I hear this song, it brings me back to that moment.
Same.
In cinematic history.
Yes. What does that song remind you of, Dylan?
I don't know. It's a mushy sounding song, and I'm a mushy person, so it just makes me think about love.
Oh, yes. Time After Time, Cyndi Lauper, which, by the way, was her first #1 hit. You would think it was Girls Just Want to Have Fun, but Time After Time was her first #1.
Cool.
I
love her. Also, did you know that she's doing contests where if you enter to win, you get to get a tarot read done by her? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You enter to win, like with tickets to her concert or something, and then people win a tarot read by Cyndi Lauper.
Tarot is so hot right now.
So hot right now. It's so hot.
The second #1 hit song of that era was The Reflex by Duran Duran, which kind of goes, the reflex, da 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 da, then in the cold, the reflex, da da da. I don't know. People know the words.
I have no idea. Dylan, do you know this song?
Flex.
No, I just want to point out that during this era, I wasn't born yet.
Oh my God, we're so old. Chandler. We're like the Crypt Keepers.
I know. Ooh. Granted, we were 2. You were 1, and I was 2. Yeah. So, but 1984 is like the hotbed of pop culture, and we'll get into it in a second. The top film of June of '84 was Ghostbusters.
Who are you gonna call?
Now, are you too young to know what Ghostbusters is, Dylan?
I know what Ghostbusters is. It's one of my top 20 favorite movies.
Good. Tetris was released in June of '84, but in Russia. Is a Russian video game, and it was first released. Anyways,
obsessed with that on Game Boy. Obsessed.
Oh God, I know.
I was gonna say
amount of hours.
I was gonna say I don't know the theme, but I was obsessed with it on Game Boy too.
Oh gosh,
I'm kind of tempted to get the VR version because I have the Oculus and they have a VR one where it's just like they're coming from the sky.
That's amazing. That sounds terrifying and amazing.
Yes.
You got to get them before they crush you.
The stakes are high. Gremlins came out in June of '84.
Ooh,
I love
Except you
Gremlins.
spelled it on the computer Germlins.
Oh, whoops! Yeah, sorry, typo. People don't need to know how I spell Germlins on my document.
Well, I was just like, what is this movie, Germlins? I've never heard of it.
But I do love Mogwai. I think he's one of the cutest little creations.
Cute.
Who's cuter, Mogwai or Baby Yoda? Go.
Oh, Stitch.
Stitch? Ooh, you're cute, aren't you? You know?
I mean, if we're going to talk about tiny little things with big ears, Stitch goes first. Then Mogwai.
Okay, all right. What's your answer?
Baby Shark from Deadpool.
Ooh, Dead Jeff. Yeah. Jeff the dog shark.
Jeff
the
land
shark.
The land shark. He's so cute.
He is the cutest.
Oh, and then when he was like Emma Frost's little pet for a while because he liked her.
Yes. Also, June of '84, Purple Rain came out.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. And last but not least, Aubrey Plaza was born. Aubrey Plaza, who we know in many iterations, but Marvel-wise, she is in the Legion show on FX as the Shadow King.
Cool. Spoiler alert, right? I've never seen this show.
Well, okay.
No?
Yes. No, I mean, it is a spoiler alert.
Oh, no, you spoiled me?
Yeah, but this has been out for years.
Yeah.
No, I got to catch up.
Years.
Did you watch Legion, Dylan? Is it good? Should I watch it?
I actually didn't.
Okay, guys, season 1, I've seen the whole thing. It's incredible. I haven't seen season 2. I heard it's just as good. Season 3, I heard is a bit sloppy, but it has no connection to the Marvel universe in the sense of, other than very opening scene where they talk about mutants. Other than that, it's just the chaotic brain of David Yeller. What's his? Heller, thank you. And his time in a psychic penitentiary. So
I
good.
think in the third season, I think Xavier's in it, but I don't think they call him Xavier. I think they just call him Charles.
Yeah,
I don't think they mention his last name.
Anyways, we're here to talk about New Mutants and X-Men.
You know what? I have not seen the fucking movie. Damn it!
Oh,
Chandler was supposed to go with me to the drive-through.
yeah.
And that just didn't happen because other plans came up, and then I just never ended up seeing it. Well, and Disney sent me a pumpkin.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
We got to display the New Mutants pumpkin and everything in support of the DVD that just came out, but I didn't see it yet. But I actually am starting to hear people say, "You guys, this actually is a pretty good movie."
It is. I thought, in the terms of X-Men films, this is definitely in the top 4 or 5, I would say.
Oh, wow.
I would agree. I don't like the X-Men movies, but I liked New Mutants, so
yeah. All right.
I would agree.
New Mutants, I am so excited to see your film one day.
Yeah, well, and we can get on home video and watch it.
Yeah, and this issue, I'm so glad. I wanted to say the X-Babies because, we don't know too much about the New Mutants right now from what we're reading, but now we get to dive into it with this issue. Yeah. And in previous issues, Kitty would call them the X-Babies.
Yes, the X-Babies. So, yeah, we are reading New Mutants number 16, published June of 1984, written by Chris Claremont, art by Sal Buscema, titled Away Game. And it's not only the first appearance, I think we said earlier, of Warpath / Thunderbird, but of all the Hellions. Cat's Eye, we get Empath, Jetstream, Roulette, and Tarot.
Yes!
Can't wait to get into Tarot later.
Ooh, and I'm all about Empath because, I was the first time I heard about Empath was in this newest run of, is he in Hellions?
Hellions.
He's in the Hellions or whatever. And I'm just like, this sassy.
Yeah.
This sassy bitch. I love him.
Yeah. So talk about chaotic evil.
Oh, it's so chaotic. And you would think somebody that has empathy, you would think compassion, but no, he uses it for evil.
Yes. And on the cover, there is a battle afoot. What do we see?
We get to see the best X-Man ever created, and that is Warpath, but at this time he's being called Thunderbird because he's the brother of the former X-Man named Thunderbird, who at this time has already died. But anyway, so he's Thunderbird right now, and he's fighting Sunspot, and we get to see Wolfsbane fighting this purple cat that we find out her name is Cat's Eye. And then we get to see the rest of the New Mutants in the background, Cannonball flying around, the Hellion Jetstream flying around, and Magma, Moonstar, Magic, Tarot, Roulette, and Empath are all fighting on some stairs.
I'm going to make a call here and say something bad happens to Cat's Eye in the near future because I've never heard of Cat's Eye.
Well, you probably haven't heard a lot of these characters because they all get murdered viciously in the 90s, and I cannot wait until we get... Oh, it's so dark. Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. This is why you have not seen them. Though they have been resurrected, as you know. Empath, you've seen. Warpath will be getting in comics soon. And Magma, we've seen. But yeah, Cat's Eye has not made an appearance. Neither has Roulette. I haven't seen, or Jetstream. I haven't seen them in the new comics.
Well, Cat's Eye actually did make an appearance. She was in the first Hellions when we got to meet Empath, and he was making all the other Hellions attack each other.
Oh, right.
Cat's Eye and Tarot were two of them.
Oh, got it.
They seem pretty evenly matched here.
Yeah, they've kind of created to compete specifically against the power set of the New Mutants.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Hellions were all created to have the exact same powers as the New Mutants, which was kind of cheesy.
It is a bit cheesy. The only characters that I think are quite unique is Roulette, about how things happen, whatever, per chance. She's a luck / chance power character. And
can you imagine a battle with Domino? Because that's two luck characters together.
Yeah, but she's luck, so I think she would just make Roulette's power, because Roulette can have bad things happen and good things happen. Meaning it's by chance. So I think Domino's powers would outset and make any time she used her power offset, whatever, be a bad scenario. But anyways, yeah, I feel like she's the only unique one that really kind of came out of this group that does something that's not quite like the others. I mean, Empath and Tarot are kind of a combined effort for Danny, maybe.
Well, Empath is supposed to be kind of a version of Karma, but at this time, Karma wasn't a part of the team.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. What do we think of the pink outfits? So
I love that.
What Dylan kind of breezed over is the amazing pink outfits that the Hellions wear. So they're all in matching uniforms.
And it's hot pink, you guys.
It is hot pink. They get thigh-high boots. They get Buccaneer gloves, skin-tight, pink bodysuits with white belts and a white triangle on their left pec or boob. But they have this amazing diagonal cut where part of it is like a hotter pink and one is like more magenta pink. And anyways, what's your takeaway on that, Dylan?
When I was younger, there was this comic that came out that was previewing, I think, Generation X. And I think there was a page where it talked about the Hellions. And I actually didn't really know that much about the Hellions, but that's the first time it was like a group shot of like 10 or 15 characters, because at one point in time, the New Mutants become Hellions too. And it talked about Warpath being one of them. And I was like, wait, why is Warpath in pink? I don't like this. So anytime I talk about the Hellions, I think about that memory. But I don't know. I don't like it. I assume they chose this pink and magenta or pink and purple look just to be completely different than the blue and yellow or black and yellow that the X-Men are. But I don't know. I don't like it.
I know. I think it looks cheesy. And I mean, I love the pink, but even nowadays, now that Empath is in the Hellions group and the current day comics, his pink outfit looks so off compared to everybody else's attire.
Personally, I like pink, and the reason is because anytime I'm playing video games and you get to customize your characters, such as Mass Effect or Halo, I always give them the pink armor. So, I'm way into this.
I love that.
I just don't understand, the triangle. What is that a symbol of? Is that?
It's really weird. It makes me think of Star Trek.
Yeah, it is very Star Trekian.
Yeah.
See, I don't understand why the Hellions don't have some more. An outfit that looks more like chess and black and white in some sort of fashion.
Yeah, like Hellfire Club style.
Yeah.
That would have been even better. Anyways, well, let's get into the issue. We open up, and on the very first inside cover, we have our first ad alert. And then we get to cover Atari presents Moon Patrol. What do we see here?
Ooh, it is we get 2 cartridges. And it starts us out for a comic strip. And there's a guy coming off of a spacecraft onto the moon. It is an astronaut.
He says, Houston, this is Apollo. I'm on the ladder.
Dylan, you be Houston.
Roger, we've got this picture.
That's one small step for, hey, somebody's up here.
And in the reflection of the astronaut's helmet, you can see a moon buggy.
Are you buggy? No, a moon buggy.
And the moon buggy is just kind of bouncing around the terrain, which is all rocky, and there's mountains in the background. It is a desolate moonscape.
It's jumping over craters and blowing up rocks.
Apollo, what's it like up there?
It's just like in the arcade.
Moon Patrol, Atari, a Warner Communications company.
So Atari, obviously, is a bit out of our age range. I did play with Atari early on in my years, but I've not played Moon Patrol. But if any listeners have, give us a shout, give us a tweet.
I got to say the advertisement that they used, the TV spot in the 80s, was so out of this world.
Yes.
They had all of these puppet aliens popping out of everywhere. And it was just like, are they in the game too?
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so. I'll probably post a clip of that on our social media. So if you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, follow us at X Reads Podcast.
Yes. So getting into it, our issue, Away Game, we find the New Mutants are caught dead centered into a spotlight with the White Queen with her arm draped around Kitty Pryde, saying, "Welcome, dear children, to my parlor. I am the White Queen. From this moment, your lives belong to the Hellfire Club," and they're surrounded by goons.
Is this pre or post Storm Emma Freaky Friday?
This is post.
Oh, okay.
Post,
yeah. And
so Kitty still has to stay at the school?
No, this is much later. She's been back with the X-Men and now she's back. But just what Chris is referring to is our prior 2 episodes on this podcast. We did the Storm and Emma body swap issues of Uncanny X-Men 151 and 152, in which case Kitty has to go to the Massachusetts Academy because her parents make her go there. But at the end, she does not. She ends up going back to the X-Men, and she ends up going back to the Massachusetts Academy some issues later because Douglas Ramsey, her friend, aka Cypher, ends up getting trapped there, or he's there, and she decides to go infiltrate the Massachusetts Academy to rescue him.
Ooh, so undercover.
Yeah, so she gets captured, and now the New Mutants are going to rescue them both. And Ileana is like, oh no, I've led everybody into a trap. How could I have been so stupid? But they're very smart and well-trained. And so Cannonball gives a signal. Amara, aka Magma, she lights up the room with a bright flash, causing an earthquake, and Ileana teleports everybody out. So the goons have to report to Emma. Emma has to, of course, say, I'll handle this situation myself. And then she turns to Kitty Pryde, who is sitting at a banquet table of sorts. And they've got wine poured. Do you think Kitty's old enough to drink wine right now?
Maybe it's apple cider.
It could be.
Because, I'm drinking apple cider right now, pretending it's booze.
Yeah.
Chandler gave me that instead of actual alcohol.
I mean, in a non-sexual way, Emma is giving off this Mrs. Robinson type of vibe, so I feel like she's probably making Kitty drink alcohol whether she's old enough or not.
Yeah, exactly. She's just like, surely you've always wanted to try wine, just have a sip. And we see Kitty also is in one of the Hellions uniforms, and I just want to add, this is yet another look for Kitty. So we can add this to the ever-growing costume closet for Kitty, where she's wearing 1,000 outfits.
Can we just make a book?
We should make a Kitty fashion book.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, poor Kitty, she is psychically tied to the chair. No ropes, no chains, no handcuffs or anything. But Emma has a hold of her mind, and it is her mind is making her sit.
Yes, and she's not able to use her powers because she's inhibited to use her powers. But what I love is how Emma starts explaining how that they're both mutants, and how mutants are now at the top of the food chain, and how humans may fear them and always fear them, but they are in demand because they are superhuman beings. And I love this face that she's getting.
Oh yes,
this
it's dripping.
Face.
I was hoping you would say something. I don't like it.
Oh, it's ultimate.
This is Emma
porn face.
It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, this is a laying back orgasmic face.
Mm-hmm.
But this is her and her sexual, she walks around like that in this era. I think.
In her underwear.
In her underwear, just dripping sex, everything she says and does.
Mm-hmm. Kitty's furious. She's like, basically, let me go, leave me alone. I don't want to be a part of the Hellfire Club. I don't want to be a part of the Academy. And she says, and Emma basically is like, whether you like it or not, you have a choice here. You can join us willingly or be forced to.
Oh my God, is Emma like a drunk? Look how big that goblet is.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It is huge. I mean, she hasn't filled it, though.
The size of her face.
This is a Chianti glass, so she must be drinking Chianti. And what it is built is a very round globe-like wine glass that you swirl your wine in. Anyway, so you can picture her walking around this living room with the fireplace going, with her Chianti glass swirling around, pontificating about mutants.
I'm so trashy. I do that with margarita bowls.
Hey,
they have those.
There's no trash.
San Diego.
No, yeah, but that's
we
great.
get those every year.
Yeah, no, it's great. Whatever you want to slosh around in your underwear, just go for it.
Yeah, but like Chris said, this glass is as big as her head. In that one panel, she's holding it up, and it's like the same size as her head.
Yes. And then on the next page, we have another ad alert. First issue free Spider-Man comic book.
When you mail in 3 proofs of purchase from Oreo chocolate sandwich cookies.
Oh, yes.
So you gotta order 3, you gotta buy 3 giant packs with 3 long rows of Oreos, and each of those Oreos is 10 grams of fat. That's what it is now. It might have been more back then, because government regulations probably said, excuse me, Nabisco. Are they Nabisco?
I think so. Yeah,
excuse
Nabisco.
Me, Nabisco, but your Oreos have a way too much lard and fat and hydrogenated everything.
Yes.
Everything you said is wrong. I love Oreos, and I could send this off in a day.
Yeah, I think Dylan and I could eat 3 bags of Oreos for sure.
Me too. And to confession, you guys, I totally had a big giant chocolate Oreo shake last night. And I'm mad at Oreos right now because it didn't agree with me.
Oh.
But every other time I've had Oreos, it's been very orgasmic. So orgasmic, I look like Emma Frost in that one panel.
And in this ad, there's a little brown-haired boy with brown eyes. He's got a long-sleeve orange shirt, and
Dylan should read it.
Hey kids, you can get this special edition first issue of Spider-Man free, plus the origin of Doctor Strange. This comic book has been out of print for a long time and cannot be bought in newsstands. All you have to do is get this special comic. To get this special comic is complete the official order form below and mail it in with 3 purchase seals from 3 packages of Oreo chocolate sandwich cookies. So ask your mom to buy Oreo, the one and only, the dark, delicious, creamy, crunchy chocolate sandwich cookies. Hurry, free Spider-Man comic book orders must be received by June 30th, 1984.
That was really fast. If this came out in June of 84, that gave kids like 30 days to eat 3 packs of Oreos.
Oh my God.
Mom, you gotta go to the store.
Oreo.
Mom, you gotta go get
you just
3,
have to please give me the
3
Oreos.
bags.
It could be any flavor at all.
Double stuffed regular, I don't care.
It could even be mint.
They didn't have any of those then.
Yeah, I think it was just...
Well, now they have everything. They have Swedish fish, which we talked about.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite flavor of Oreo, Dylan? Because this tells a lot about you. You cannot pick original. You have to do something different.
Well,
if you're original, then you're vanilla.
Can I be weird and say that I like the vanilla Oreos? Like where the cookie is vanilla? One? Yes, I like the golden ones. But when it comes to the weird flavor things that they make, I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I wanted to try like the s'mores one. I saw that one recently.
Yeah, I love the original, but I'm kind of all for the mega stuff. It used to be double stuff, and now I'm mega.
I went through a whole era of eating double stuff where, you pull the cookie apart and then you eat the cream first.
Yeah.
And then you smush the cookies back together and then you eat the cookies next.
Yes, of course. I think that happened in a movie too, so they really kind of spelled that out.
Yeah. I would buy the double stuff ones and take them apart and have like 2 double stuff ones and take them apart and then put those together and have a double stuff and then I would eat it.
Oh, that's intense. Are you a milk dunker?
Yes. You can't have Oreos without milk. That's gross.
No, the thing is, Oreos, sometimes they fall apart and they end up at the bottom of the glass when you're trying to dunk them for too long. You have to have finesse with it. You got to go dunk. You can't linger too long. Otherwise, you're going to drink it and then you'll get this big glob of like almost a boba.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a skill set of knowing how long you can have an Oreo rest in milk before you have to pull it out without it falling apart.
It's a mutant power.
Yes.
Graduated from the Xavier Institute. What's your power?
I can dunk Oreos like none other. Anyways, moving on elsewhere, the New Mutants are in a storehouse and, safely teleported away from the White Queen's clutches. And we see Wolfsbane in her kind of half human, half wolf look.
Which is creeping me out.
Literally was going to say that. it's the creepiest
80s horror movie. Like, when they do the puppetry.
So, Dylan, since you're more familiar with New Mutants, is this like a common look for Wolfsbane?
Well, I mean, it's something that she explains in a few panels later. She hasn't perfected it, but for her to be able to still communicate with everyone else, she can't talk to people when she's in her full wolf form. So she has to do this weird hybrid of both of them. And luckily, by the late 80s, early 90s, she's perfected this weird form and it doesn't look as creepy and ugly as this.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's so weird.
So the kids are formulating a plan of how they're going to escape and how they're going to rescue Kitty and Cypher. And part of that is stealing some goon uniforms so that they can sneak around the complex. But before we get to that, can we talk about the coloring of Danny Moonstar in this issue?
What color is that? Well, maybe they're in the dark and there's some weird lighting going on.
No.
It's
because she's Native American and they made her red skin, which I was like,
yeah, that is red, isn't it?
This is, to me, very racially charged.
Well, I don't know if your copy looks like my copy, but if you look at the first panel where you get to look at the New Mutants, everyone's white. And Sunspot and Moonstar are the same color as the three Caucasian characters.
Oh, yeah.
So,
they switched the race after that panel. They were just like, no, let's like give it some more diversity here. Next panel, like fix it. You don't have to do anything previous. Just fix it from here on.
Right.
Yeah. I'll say I used to be on a different podcast show that we actually covered the first 16 or 18 issues of New Mutants, and coloring was always an issue when it came to Moonstar and Sunspot. One panel, they would look like they should, which is an Afro-Brazilian and then a Native American that you don't have red ink as her skin. But then like the next panel, Sunspot would be like completely like super, super dark brown, almost black. And Moonstar is, of course, red, the color red.
Right. Yeah. It's a bit problematic, I find, to make. I mean, my whole takeaway on the art of this is that it's very rushed and cheap because they don't spend any time on backgrounds. It's either just like a color or it's very just line work. They don't really go into it too much. So obviously the production budget was probably not as much as X-Men. And also the timeline must have been difficult. And I'm sure that with Claremont writing every single issue of everything, I'm sure he didn't turn in scripts in a timely manner. So the artists and the colorists and everybody were put up to it.
I was just going to say, you're going to get to it, but while they're hiding out from the Hellfire Goons, we get to see two of them walk by, and it's female ones. And I feel like any other time we've seen Hellfire Goons, they're not really female.
Yes, I know.
We got some ladies in the house.
Yeah, the first female goon from the Hellfire Club I saw was in Uncanny X-Men 151 that we covered, and it was one male and one female. And unlike in the art here, she had a big ponytail coming out of the back of her head, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "Hellfire women goons." Anyways, so they ambush the women, they strip them bare. And they steal their uniforms, and in the process Danny uses her psychic powers to terrorize them, to reveal information, and then she has a cry about it because she doesn't like how she's acting.
Well, that's kind of mean, like invading their mind. Okay, they're on a mission, so you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
but gosh, if you have any compassion for people and kindness in your heart, it would be difficult to do that to people. It's like yelling in their faces.
Yeah.
You know, but in their brain. Is it something that you would be able to do easily if you're on a mission, Dylan?
I don't think. If I did, I would be like Danny, because I don't like to make people sad or upset. So I would probably do it, but then I would be like Danny and I would cry after.
So Danny and Ileana put on the uniforms.
Yeah, good thing it was two females that were just the right size, everybody.
And rather than leaving the goons naked, they put them in the X-Baby uniforms.
I don't understand. Wait, they untied them to do that too.
Yes, I know.
So they went through the process of untying them, stripping them down, and then putting their clothes on them?
I mean, you just have to see that this team is 4 girls and 2 guys. So, of course, the women are going to be like, no, we're going to be respectful, and we're going to cover them up.
Like, how long did that take, though? That's like an extra, 10 minutes of struggle.
So Ileana and Danny step out into the hallway in their new goon uniforms, and the rest of the team formulate a plan to escape, and that involves magma burning a hole into the ground, and
she's like, "Come on, follow me!"
creating an escape route with Cannonball following her shortly behind.
And Cannonball's like, "You just melted everything through the floor, and if I go through there, I'm going to burn too." And then he's like, "Oh no, wait! Oh, she made it cool. It's like it's fine.
Yeah,
I can go down."
And then on the next page, we have our next add-on alert. This is the arcade classics of Pac-Man, Centipede, and Donkey Kong now playing on home computers everywhere. And we see a young boy and a little doggy with a bandana around his neck.
They're standing in front of a brick wall with 3 giant posters. And what posters do we see, Dylan?
We see Pac-Man, Centipede, and Donkey Kong. I love it. It's cute. I don't know what Centipede is. Maybe that's showing my age again. I don't know.
Well, have you heard of the human centipede? It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that.
But the Pac-Man poster is funny because it's just a very easy Pac-Man face and like not very artistic at all.
Is he like over the Hollywood Hills?
Looks like it.
It's like, you know, Pac-Man in the city at night. He's, you know, a crime fighter of some sort.
Pac-Man the movie.
And then the Donkey Kong poster is Donkey Kong holding a woman. And is that Mario? I don't really know.
Yes, that's supposed to be Mario. That's early Mario.
That might be
okay.
Pete.
Oh, yes. But yeah, we see Donkey Kong holding either Peach or a woman and Mario trying to save her.
The Donkey Kong actually kind of looks like old school Disney cartoon.
Mm-hmm, it does. Steamboat Willie style.
Which one of these games, you have to pick one of the three. Which one of these games would you allow in your life, the rest of your life, and the other ones disappear from the collective consciousness forever?
I'm going to pick Pac-Man.
Okay. Cool. That's pretty solid.
Pac-Man's good.
Yeah.
I would pick Donkey Kong. I think I enjoy playing Donkey Kong more than the others.
I know. I can't. I'm a sucker for Mario.
What is Centipede? Centipede is a game where you have to you're a centipede going along, and you, like Pac-Man, but the board, there's no walls.
You are the wall.
You are the wall, exactly. So you are eating things that you need to eat in order to move on to the next level. But as you eat, your body gets longer. And so if you're not careful, you will go into a circle and eat your own body and then die.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So it's actually quite a difficult game.
It's nerve-wracking.
It is nerve-wracking.
I would always, get caught in myself, entangled.
And then back with the New Mutants, Magma, who is super powerful, after blasting a hole through the basement into the lower subterranean levels of the Massachusetts Academy, she comes across the generators and she basically burns them all up.
And there's like people down there, and she's burning the people, and they're running for their lives.
She's basically like a lava, volcano explosion indoors underground.
I feel bad for those random people that were just doing their jobs down there.
Yeah,
they just clocked in, their
dead.
shift. They're dead.
Mm-hmm. So she takes out the power everywhere, cutting out the lights. And Kitty Pryde is like, woohoo, score one for the kids. Way to go. I love how she calls them the kids.
And now it gets spooky and sinister. And we get to
Can we talk about Kitty's face in that image?
Yeah.
Like, who is she? Who is this girl?
But also, one, I thought you were paralyzed and can't move. And two, it looks like she's breaking the fourth wall to tell us, good job, New Mutants.
Totally. I know. But yeah, then the candlelight gets going.
Oh yeah, this is when the White Queen gets to twist the mustache, as they say.
And she says, "Dear heart, the battle has barely begun. Anything can happen." And then we turn the page. We have yet another ad alert. And part of this one, Chris, why don't you go for the one that you're really excited about?
Yeah, all of these other ones are kind of lame. They're just blah, blah, blah. But there's this one tiny little ad. And it's so insignificant in this entire issue. It's probably the most inconspicuous ad that I've ever seen in an issue. But it has had the most effect on me.
Okay, tell us.
Okay. For smart people, quit using centuries-old erasers. Have the new magic eraser. Its formula doesn't leave crumbs on paper, you guys. Send $1 to Cinotech, 311 East Julia Way, Hanford, California, 93230. Now, let me talk about erasers.
Tell us about erasers.
When you were a kid, how annoying was it to get little crumbs of your eraser on your paper?
I hated it.
And then the erasers would break apart. And then you would get like a new eraser, like say for instance, you went to a birthday party and it came in a goodie bag and you were so excited about it because it was a Wolverine eraser.
Yes.
And then you get it there and then you're trying to erase it and there's crumbs everywhere and the thing fell apart and you can't even use eraser anymore. And you're just like, why do I even have this? I need to fix my mistakes, guys. I need to fix my mistakes.
But now
we have a solution.
A magic eraser, but it's only for smart people. So you have to do
So that means I can't have it. I can't order it. Chandler.
You gotta do an IQ test.
Can you order it for me? You're smart.
Yes, I'll get it for you.
This ad alert page is so weird. Like, I don't know if it's maybe just a Midwest thing, but like when I was in high school and I was on the yearbook committee, and like we would have different companies in the town buy ads to be in the yearbook. Like that's what this page looks like. It looks like 5 different companies paid to have an ad all on one page. It's really confusing to see a page where you have multiple ads.
But I love how they couldn't even sell the whole page because Marvel had to take out half of it for the Power Pack.
Which we will talk about at the end.
We will talk
about
about
back as a special ad.
This is the teaser ad.
This is the peekaboo ad.
A New Generation of Superheroes for Readers of All Generations by Louise Simonson, June Brigman, and Bob Wiesek. On sale May 1st. Don't miss it.
This is such a tease that you only see the silhouette of the characters.
Correct.
You don't see them until the real ad. So stay tuned, listeners.
Back with the New Mutants, the power's out, so that means all the students in Massachusetts Academy are pouring out of their dorms into the street. The police have arrived, and Cannonball and Magma are using the opportunity to blend in with the crowd. And I love how he says, Cannonball says, if anyone asks about our costumes, they're designer ski suit.
That would be amazing. I would totally work. I would so rock it and say, it's a designer ski suit, you guys.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the kind of hoity-toity Massachusetts Academy where they'd be like, oh, really? Where do you ski? Vale.
Like, I know. Isn't it summertime right now?
I think it is. No, they're wearing jackets and stuff.
By the way, I just love this woman in her rollers.
At that time, they did.
I just realized this confrontation that happens in the crowd. You see all these people, you see all these bubbles of people talking, and then one guy says, I got a suggestion. Another one says, me too. My place or yours. And then you hear slap.
Oh my god, I totally didn't even like
I love an altercation in public.
What is that like backstory of those?
Yeah,
people?
what is that? Are they hooking up? What is happening?
It sounds like somebody was propositioning somebody and they did not want a part of it, so they slapped them.
You know, we need to make like a pilot for a TV series like Gossip Girl, but the X-Men, but it's the Emma Frost Academy, and it centers around these people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or it's all the neighbors of the academy. Like what they see out of their windows.
Right. I'm ready to tune in. So yeah, Cannonball and Magma, they're sneaking through the crowd, but then we get an aerial shot. It says, this is Jetstream on tactical frequency. I'm over the main quad. So obviously somebody's flying up in the sky.
And he's looking through his computer goggles.
And then he turns it into an Atari video game, and we see Cannonball and Amara in their 8-bit forms.
So cute.
Meanwhile, with Ileana and Danny, they are sneaking around and they come across more goons, but they forget that they're in their uniforms. So they think that they're caught, but they're not. And
Ileana makes an interesting point. She's like, I'm not going to use my powers to get us to where we need to go, even though I could do it like in a blink, because, you know, power comes with a price and I just don't want that headache.
Correct.
But I mean, she has to go through hell, right? Every time she goes through those portals.
Yeah, she teleports through limbo.
I would not want that headache either. I'm sorry, I just don't want to high five a bunch of demons on the way to the bathroom. You know, like I know that we're in the mansion and the bathroom is way over there. They put me in the shittiest room. Why do I have to go all the way across the mansion? Let me just teleport. Hey, demons. Hi, demons. Hey, demons. Excuse me, demons.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, excuse me, demons.
I gotta poo.
Oh, here I am.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally understand Ileana's method of not wanting to use her powers. And even nowadays, I feel like she doesn't overuse her teleportation powers. She more relies on her sword play more than anything. Anyways, they are stalking around trying to escape, and they are being followed by a dark figure who's crawling along the ceiling with glowing yellow eyes.
And it is not our shape-shifting friend that we know already.
No, because then we cut to another part of the complex, and we see Wolfsbane and Sunspot also making their way out. They reach a door. Rain or Wolfsbane, she can't smell anybody on the other side. So Sunspot's like, all right, well, let me just tear the door off the frame. Why not? Rather than just open it. And on the other side is
Thunderbird and his fist, and he punches Sunspot right in the face.
This is Dylan, what are your feelings now? This is your very first look at Thunderbird / Warpath.
I mean, he's big and muscly, and the first panned shot that we get to see of him is from the floor up with his crotch thrusting in the air. I love it.
That is a crotch thrust now, isn't it?
Yes. Is it all your dreams coming true?
Yes, it is completely. Except for him wearing the pink. In my dreams, he's not wearing anything. But yes.
I'll take the pink.
So Wolfsbane goes full wolf form, attacks Thunderbird / Warpath. Is somehow able to flip him over, over her body to make him slam against the floor. And then what is Roulette throwing these little discs? So Dylan, can you tell us about Roulette? What do you know about her?
Oh, it's like a roulette chip.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah. I was so confused. Go ahead, Dylan.
That's her thing. She has like roulette chips that are black or white, and the white are good luck and the black are bad luck. And she just decides whichever one she wants to throw at you. And even though she might throw a good luck one at you, it might not necessarily be good luck for you. It might be good luck for her, or it might be good luck for in a sense of not necessarily good luck for you right then and there. So something bad might still happen to you, but in a good way. I don't know how to really explain it, but
if somebody were to get into a surfing accident and they got a concussion and they went in to the doctor and the doctor scanned their brain and were like, "Oh my God, you got this brain tumor in there," and we could just scoop it right out. Good thing we caught it.
Yeah,
if you
something like
longer, that. Yeah. Oh, that happened. That happened to the husband of a LA reporter.
Oh, wow. I was going to say you pulled that story out of nowhere. No, it's a real story.
No, it's a real story.
Got it. I love her Farrah Fawcett hair. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. She is fabulous. Charlie's Angels looking like.
The funny thing about the Hellion uniforms is it seems like everybody has like a different V cut. And like you get a lot of boob on Roulette.
Yeah, she is boobalicious.
Yeah, her cut goes below the cleavage line, so she's giving it all.
She kind of reminds me like she could be like one of those cocktail servers in Vegas.
Also, if they're black or white, but the rules or the colors of Roulette are black and red, but whatever. Black and white is chess. Black and red would be Roulette, but I'll let it slide for now.
Well, we know how much there's coloring problems in New York.
Yes,
they're like, it's black, you guys. It's too late. We got to do something. Just call them black discs.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Just call them black discs, you guys. Just roll with it.
So then Sunspot revives. He goes to rescue Wolfsbane. Roulette throws another one of her discs, causing him back pain, and she's enjoying all the misery they're in. And Thunderbird is giving her like side eye, like, you're a fucking bitch. Like, why? We're not here to like kill people and harm people. We're just here to subdue them. Yeah, he punches Sunspot.
I was gonna say I do love the fact that we get to see that Warpath Thunderbird does kind of like have a heart. But I'm sorry, wait, a few panels ago you punched Sunspot right in the face.
Yeah, in human form. Like it wasn't he wasn't even in his son mode. But anyways, at that moment, Danny has a panic attack. And Ileana has to catch her. She's falling. And she's like, it hurts, right? Wolfsbane, she's in trouble.
My brain.
And lo and behold, the creature that's been stalking them grabs Ileana from the ceiling. And then we get our first appearance of Tarot.
Ooh. And she is so cool. Her thing is she whips out a tarot card of the devil. And she says, "Splendid cat's eye. May the goddess grant that tarot does as well against her foe." And the devil pops out of the card. Like, it's the devil incarnate.
Yes. We are outside, and we're in Atari land, seeing Cannonball and Magma in their 8-bit form. They come across the entryway to Douglas Ramsey's dorm, and they meet Empath. So this is our first appearance of Empath.
Oh, he's so sassy.
I love his name. Dylan, tell us his full name.
When they meet Empath, he's at the top of the stairs and he goes, "I am Manuel Alfonso Rodrigo de la Rocha.
The third." I love somebody with many, many names. Anyways, and he says, "You must get past me first, and you don't want to do that, do you? I wouldn't like it. Surely you don't want to upset a friend, someone you love." He's using his empathetic powers to make Cannonball and Magma not attack him. But then Douglas shows up and is just like, "Hey guys, what are you doing in Snow Valley?" And then finally snaps Cannonball out of it so he can punch Empath to the ground.
And all the while, the White Queen stares out her window, seeing everything going on. And she's like, oh my God, I told them to keep it on the DL. And what do? They just bring it out into the schoolyard for everybody to see those little shits.
Yeah, and we get Jetstream busting through the walls.
Yeah, and that poor woman with curlers. Like
I was just gonna say, we get to see the girl with the curlers again.
She's starring in our CW pilot.
Who's your favorite Hellion besides Thunderbird Warpath?
I think it's Cat's Eye because I like cats.
Yeah, Chris, if you got to pick one, who are you going to pick? Well, you said you love Empath because he's a little twat.
Oh, he's a little twat.
And I'm here for Farrah Fawcett Roulette. I'm here for her. So I also love Tarot.
Yeah, I want to be Empath, but have Tarot's powers too on top of it.
I was going to say I do like Tarot, and it might be because one of the, like around the time when I first started getting into X-Men comics was the awful time that Chandler was talking about where the Hellions die, and they die because they get killed by a bunch of Sentinels. And like one of the last Hellions that's like alive is Tarot, because she's just like using a bunch of her tarot cards to create giant monsters to fight the Sentinels. And the really cool thing is, spoiler alert, at that point in time, Warpath was no longer a Hellion, so that's why he didn't die. But the cool thing is, Tarot actually was never shown dying. And then back in the 90s, which would have been like almost 15 or 20 years later, Tarot showed up as a part of a new Hellions. So it was cool because Tarot was basically the only Hellion besides Empath that survived. And they didn't really show Empath survive, but as we know, Empath is a douchebag that doesn't want to fight. So he probably just convinced someone that he was dead and he ran away.
Right, yeah. Anyways, moving on. We're back with the New Mutants again. Magma is taken over by Empath. She starts attacking her teammates, Cannonball, and in the process ends up accidentally hitting Jetstream. Cannonball decides to save Jetstream from elimination. And what ends up happening is Cannonball, who is nigh invulnerable when he's blasting, as he likes to remind us every time, he decides to cannonball himself into the ground and then up through the ground next to Empath, punching him and knocking him out, giving Magma the chance to revive. And then Douglas runs out and is just like, oh, I don't believe it. You guys have superpowers. Wait till I tell Kitty. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Where have you been, Douglas?
Oh my God. You guys have superpowers? What?
Yeah, and then White Queen Emma Frost herself shows up, and she turns herself into, or she manipulates people to think that they see, Cannonball thinks he sees the love of his life, Amy.
And now he's shaking.
Yeah, now he's shaking.
He's actually quivering.
Yes. And then makes Amara think that she's seeing her mother that she's never met.
And how twisted and weird is that to project those two images into separate brains at the same time, and they're completely different.
As you were just saying it, I didn't really have too many thoughts about it, but it kind of makes me think now more so like the type of person that Emma is, like when it comes to men, and she wants to just make a sexualized thought for them, but then when it comes to women, she wants to be motherly. And I think that kind of is telling of Emma, because there is a huge part of Emma that's motherly, as we know, when in the future, when the Hellions die, that destroys Emma. There's another time where Emma has students and they die, and that destroys her. But yeah, there's a huge motherly part of Emma, but there's also a huge sexualized version inside of Emma.
Absolutely.
So I think it's very telling.
And then we get back to the fight with Danny and Ileana.
And the devil, he took his chains.
Yes.
And he wrapped them around Danny's neck, and they are in a brawl.
Yeah, but what's crazy, which I didn't think about, is that the card's influence starts transforming Danny into a devil. What do we think about that?
Oh, it's so creepy.
Is this like...
It's next level.
Like, that seems a bit much for Tarot's ability.
Well, that's like Omega shit right there.
I think Tarot's power is just to bring a card to life. She's not really controlling it after that point. So I think...
Oh, she better run away into the corner and hide?
Yeah, I think it... Yeah, I think it's showing that like she doesn't necessarily know what she's doing either. And
While Danny's getting taken down by the devil, Ileana decides to whip out her soul sword. She slashes Cat's Eye, who just says, ow. I think it would kill Cat's Eye with that kind of phenomenal blow that she does. Then she runs over to the devil and then chops the head off of the devil. But because the devil is made of magic and her sword is basically a dispelling sword, she's able to cancel the spell. Then she runs after Taro, and Taro's like, oh crap, she's coming for me.
I'm going to cancel you.
If I saw Magic running after me with her sword, I would run. So she summons another card to protect her.
That looks like the Knight of Swords.
Correct.
Am
the
I right?
Knight of Swords.
I'm correct.
And somehow the hoof of the horse knocks Ileana out.
Just smacks her right in the face. Oh, like she was in pain.
And and Danny's like, Ileana, you're bleeding. And then, Emma steps in. She's like, stop. This is it.
Come to me, my children. Playtime's over.
But she cannot infiltrate Ileana's mind, so she's able to create a stepping disc, grab Danny, and teleport out. And then Emma's like, interesting. We have a teleporter.
Enjoy your freedom, brats. It won't last long.
Next issue, the final showdown and the getaway. Well, that was a fun issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we're done with New Mutants, before we get into our final ad alerts, any lasting thoughts?
I am a person who loves a lot of action in comics, and so I'm happy that the introduction to a bunch of brand new characters was showing off their powers. So I think that's another reason that I really like this issue is not only are you introduced to a bunch of new mutants, but you're introduced to their powers immediately as well.
I agree.
I loved everything about it. I loved Taro. I loved the White Queen with her hostage situation with Kitty. That was pretty intense. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a foreshadowing of the relationship in the future. Because, White Queen wants Kate to be the Red Queen. And, I feel like we see that scene again.
Oh, yes. I feel like Emma and Kitty are forever tied. Yeah, I thought the issue was great. I'm really glad we got to do our first New Mutants issue. So thank you, Dylan, for bringing that.
Yes, thank you, Dylan.
And
welcome.
And so our final little ad alert. We get the first look, full page at the Power Pack. This is the very first time audiences are seeing the Power Pack in June of '84.
A new generation of superheroes for readers of all generations. Power Pack.
Marvel makes the magic.
On sale May 1st.
So what do we know about Power Pack? I mean, Katie Power was in that Wolverine issue we did on King X.
I know, it was heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a really heavy issue, that one.
What do you know about Power Pack?
I know very little. I know that there are a bunch of siblings that all have powers, and they're very rainbowy. That's really about all that I know.
They're very colorful. Yeah, so what's interesting about Power Pack, I found, is that they're created by Louise Simonson, who was an editor at Marvel and X-Men for a very long time. And Louise said that at Marvel, if you were an editor, you could also be a writer. So you could take the job, you could take over a currently running issue at Marvel if you wanted, or you could create your own. And they had this power as editors. And Jim Shooter is just like, you've been editing for a long time. Why don't you create something? And so she finally did. She created the Power Pack, and she brought on June Brigman to draw. And I'm really happy that she did. I haven't read these comics, but I know people love Power Pack. I know they hold a special place in a lot of people's hearts, and they're relaunching them this year.
No, they're not.
Yes, they're coming out.
Reboot.
I think next week.
No way.
Or I mean, sorry. By this time, by the time this publishes, I think it might have already been out. But either way, it comes out in the end of 2020 at some point.
As a comic series?
As a new comic series,
wow.
Yeah, as a reboot comic series.
Cool.
So check it out, everyone. And then our last and final ad alert. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons video game.
Advanced?
Yes.
I need beginner.
I know.
It's the difficult.
Where do I set it to easy?
Right. Why don't you read it for us,
yes,
Dylan?
Dylan, read it out.
Volume 1, The Cloudy Mountain cartridge, was only the beginning of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons video game series for Intellivision. Now comes Volume 2, The Treasure of Tarman cartridge. You want the treasure, and over 50 different creatures want you.
Ooh. Well, this looks like, as Chris says, bloop bloop kind of kind of video game. Atari. Well, this is not Atari. This isn't television.
Well, I kind of like how you're going through different rooms, in some sort of dungeon. There might be a dragon.
Ooh. Yeah, I have not played this game, but the art is very cool. We get like an elven archer type person who looks like he's going to shoot an arrow at a dragon because we see the shadow of a many-toothed creature.
Oh, he's poor man's Link.
Poor man's Link. We see a skeleton chained up against the wall, who obviously is a poor soul who never made it. And we have all sorts of creatures kind of gunning after him.
There's a ghost. There's like snakes, which might be Medusa's head, peeking around the corner.
So spooky.
What do you see, Dylan?
I see a lot going on. And how could someone fight all of those things with a bow and arrow?
He's got a dagger too. He's got a dagger.
Link could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't
this guy. This guy's not going to. He's going to be the next skeleton in the temple.
Right.
Yes.
Did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons?
I did not. I had friends who did, and I would go and just look at the not on video game version, on board game, and I would look at the little pieces and cards and things, but I never played because it looked really confusing.
Well, maybe we'll get it together one day.
Yes,
but not the advanced.
No. Like I said, set it to easy first, please. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, Dylan. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I love talking about Warpath.
Yeah. So tell us, where can people find out more about House of X?
You can find the House of X podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search for House of X and X-Men podcast. You can find the Facebook group on Facebook anywhere. Just type in House of X. And then you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handles on them are really weird. So just type in House of X, X-Men, and you'll find us.
Excellent. I will sign us out. X Reads is recorded in Los Angeles. Our theme music is provided by Hook Sounds. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast to be updated on when new episodes appear every first and third Wednesday of the month. If you like our show, please write us a review or slide into our DMs and tell us all about it. Follow us on social media at X Reads Podcast. That's the letter X, READS podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.
Bye.